Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And one thing we don't have on this channel is a Patreon.
Right, we do not.
We do not. We do have Donor Box. If you go to thereef.support, that is a totally different system. If you guys want to donate, fantastic. Thank you. We love that you do. But we don't use Patreon for a reason, because we've done many videos about Patreon and how dodgy they are. And now it turns out that some people aren't getting paid at all from
Yeah,
Patreon.
you were telling me this last night. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, so we'll have to give you the nickel tour of the drama with Patreon, which we'll do after we invite you to subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so Patreon, let's walk it back here real quick, and then we'll tell you about the situation they're in right now. That
I'm learning all about the details too, as you are.
Yeah,
because Neon was looking into it, so I'm a participant like you are in learning about this.
Apparently, what happened was they switched their payment processor from the U.S. to Ireland, and now a lot of charges are being declined because they're being flagged as fraudulent. But they did not tell people that that's what they were doing, and it's a big mess, and people aren't getting paid this month, and everybody's furious.
So the issue is because they switched banks to Ireland, and now people's cards and things here
are saying it's fraudulent,
saying it's fraud because it's okay. Gotcha.
Right. That is this month.
Why did they change to Ireland?
That is a damn good question. They're not saying why they did. They just did, and people were like, "You should have given us the heads up."
Well,
because,
they should have let people know that.
Yeah.
If they didn't, then that's a problem.
But Patreon has had a lot of problems over the last couple of years. This is coming from the information. They're talking about how it's been mismanaged completely.
If only somebody had called this out years ago. If only.
They said that it's had haphazard leadership going way back to what started our kind of anti-Patreon sentiment. It was them randomly, arbitrarily banning people from the platform for wrongthink. If they weren't the right kind of person, if they were maybe drawing something they shouldn't be drawing, even if it had nothing to do with the platform, if they were saying something on another platform, they banned them.
But that was what was interesting, is they didn't have like a rubric. Like if you do these things, you're banned. It was, well, we look at it case by case based on their committee and if they liked you or not, or what, basically politics probably.
It was politics,
and, they were banning people right and left for whatever. And there was a lot of questionable stuff. And I remember this happened before, that people didn't get paid.
Yes.
And it was an issue previously. Yes. And we've told people many times, I would not recommend going to Patreon. And even if you don't agree with people's comments when they got banned from it, some people, you might argue deserve to get banned from it. But the problem was there was no clear explanation and there was no set rules like for everyone. It was just arbitrarily decided upon by this committee and whether or not they thought you were a problem. And like Neon said, you could have said something on a completely different platform that had no relation to Patreon whatsoever, and you were getting banned for it. Like, were they the ones that want? Yeah, they wanted people to let them look into their Google Docs, look at their drives to make sure there's nothing on it they thought was questionable.
Yeah, they were. They banned. Apparently, they banned Sargon of Akkad. Now, I don't know the whole story, but they banned him for saying the N-word
on something else,
on another podcast, on another platform. But the reason he said it was to be like, well, you wouldn't approve of this, correct? Like he wasn't saying it because he actually believed it. He was using it as an example. You wouldn't say. Anyway, somebody got that, used it as a reason to get him kicked off the platform. He was bringing in like $12,000 a month on Patreon. Then other conservatives decided, and there were conservatives and even like atheists and a whole bunch of different people were like, if it can happen to him, it can happen to us. And they all just like left.
And they wouldn't give like a clear, concise set of rules. And
why did you ban him?
Over and over again, could you please, write this down so we know what not to do? And they refused to do that.
So that was kind of like strike one. They had they went on this PR tour, and it was whoever was in charge of their hate speech policies or whatever came from PayPal, and it was the whole thing, right? So they did that. Well, then they had the problem with some creators not getting paid on time, and then they were passing the fees on to the backers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I remember that.
So if you were donating $5 a month, they would charge you like $5.79 a month or whatever the fees were. So they were passing the fees on to the backers, and then that was a whole issue.
I'm sure that was padded as well.
I'm sure that was padded as well. So basically, I mean, the whole point of Patreon is like, it's kind of pointless now anyway, because it came about in a time when they wanted to centralize memberships, and they actually lifted the model from webcomics. Webcomics people have been doing like monthly
They've
PayPal
said
donations.
as much.
Oh yeah, they said that because we talked to them early on. They
Yeah,
actually
we
came when they first started.
Same with like, Tapastic,
Oh, yeah.
Tap is now, Web2, different places. We were there when it started. They a lot of times came to find us and talk to us about what we thought about things. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a true story. We actually come from this world.
We
don't just talk about it.
So they lifted that from webcomics people. And yeah, it's very easy now through PayPal or even YouTube or so many other options to, take donations and not have to pay the fees that PayPal, takes and not have to play by their rules. And that's the biggest problem, is playing by their rules.
But you don't know what the rules are.
You never know what the rules are. And apparently you never know if they're going to change payment processors either. So they laid a bunch of people off last fall. They laid all their security people off last fall. And here we are. Now they're not saying what happened, but somebody else said what happened, that they switched their payment processor to Dublin. This is Patreon status. An unrelated issue is causing a slightly higher than normal number of Patreon payments to erroneously be flagged as fraudulent by their banks. We're sorry for the inconvenience this may cause creators and their patrons. We're working diligently with our partners to resolve this. So you guys are the reason I have to deal with the runaround with my bank to reactivate my card the other day. You moved payments to another country. Bloody hell. They're not saying that. The issue is you're trying to avoid paying taxes by moving everything to Dublin.
I don't know that, but I kind of wondered that if there's some kind of, financial incentive to do so. Taxes crossed my mind, but I don't know if that's the case.
So it says Dubai on my account. Canceled that subscription last month. Stay in the States and you wouldn't have the issue. It ain't fucking rocket science. Why are you ignoring my emails? Now, this is how I found out about last night. It's a Hake comic artist. From what they gather, Patreon changed their billing location from California to Ireland without warning, causing banks to decline the charges or mark them as fraud. If you're a patron, you should check to see if your pledges are impacted by this. And they didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, but if they told people, which they should have done. I mean, unless you called your bank ahead and everybody had to contact their bank, it was going to happen.
Yeah, we have been telling people. We have been telling you for, my God, probably 3 or 4 years now, do not put your eggs in the Patreon basket. So many people rely almost entirely on Patreon, and there are so many red flags with this company. You can't trust it. Well, you've got the information coming out and being like, Jack Conte can't run this company to save his life, And but this guy lays it out. This is Jason Pargin, author of John Dies at the End. I've heard of that one.
Okay.
55,000 followers. He goes into it in more detail. He says, if you're a Patreon creator and are confused as to why a bunch of your income vanished, it's because Patreon's system appears to have totally collapsed. They sent me an email saying my credit card blocked the payment as fraudulent and canceled all of my creator support.
Okay, so that's the thing. If your card blocked it as fraudulent because, they shifted to Ireland, why are they canceling all his creator support then?
Yeah.
I mean, they should usually be like, okay, there's a problem with your card. You need to switch to another one. Or
they give you some time to fix it.
They're just automatically canceling it so that those creators aren't getting paid.
I told the credit card company the charge was fine. It was valid. Patreon sent an email saying, click here to update your payment. Okay. And the link goes to a 404 error.
No.
My list of supported creators is gone. I have to try to remember who I was supporting. There's nothing on the site. There's no list of who I was supporting before, so I'm trying to search creators I remember supporting, and when I click the support this creator button, another 404 error occurs. The whole system is dead, apparently. Here's a Reddit thread.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So many fucking people depend on this service.
It's true. That's why we told you not to.
Yeah, it really is just a disorganized trash company. They take a cut of every transaction. Oh my God. Everything we've been saying, they take a cut of every transaction and provide the worst possible service to both parties. I've spent the last hour trying to give money to creators, and Patreon won't even let me. They won't let me. So now you can turn on Twitter subscribers. I checked how much I'm losing. I'm honestly terrified about my bills. I'm in the middle of a move. I'm going to have to figure something out because this is devastating.
Yeah, this is gonna be the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Patreon, you need to fix this. I mean, these people, as much as we've told people not to go to you, they went and did it anyway. A lot of them don't listen to us anyway. But
They're Nazis. What do we
this is
know?
like their main source of income, and they do well enough to get it. And now they're going to have nothing until you figure this out. And even if you figure it out, if you deleted all this stuff, I hope you have a backup to put the list of creators and people are supporting back so they can support them again when you fix it up. Otherwise, people are going to have to just remember who they were supporting and start all over again.
Yeah.
My heart really just breaks these people because we've been in these situations before where like you needed that, like that $100 made all the difference in the world. And for some people, it's thousands of dollars. And
that's the difference between eating and not eating. That's the difference between
having a house and not having a house.
Yeah,
you know, or a
getting your
place to
car
live.
fixed or not. You know,
Paying for your health insurance or medicines or not.
So, and look, I'm not trying to be, this is one of those cases where I don't want to be like, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. But we have been saying, anybody who watches the channel, this isn't a political thing, okay? I don't watch Sargon of Akkad. I'm just saying if it can happen to him, it can happen to you. The creator that was supposedly drawing lowly stuff that they wanted to go through their Google Drive that had nothing to do with their Patreon and decide whether or not they were going to ban them based on that. You know, that's scary too, because you don't know when they're going to change their terms, if you're going to be flagged.
Sometimes they didn't even tell you. Apparently.
Yeah, they don't even tell you.
Or they said it like in this like email in this fine print that you aren't going to notice, and they know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to talk about Indiegogo?
Yeah, I was going to talk about Indiegogo because this happened to us on some level with Indiegogo, and I have to wonder if it's not a similar situation. Indiegogo used to be fantastic for doing pre-orders. We always did our book pre-order campaigns and stuff through Indiegogo. And we did Crimson Wren, the first round for Crimson Wren last fall. And we, went off without a hitch for the most part. I know some people have talked about it being, shadow banning and all this stuff. And
we didn't see that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying
we didn't see it.
We didn't see it.
We didn't see it on our end. What we did see, though, is we did a smaller campaign for a book called Previously on Clownfish TV, which was a collection of webcomics. And they sat on the money for over 30 days. Mm-hmm. In fact, they didn't release funds to us until I wrote them about it and asked them. I said, hey, I need to get these books ordered. It's been a really long time. Where is our money? Please. Yeah, I tried to be nice about it because usually before we got money within a week.
Yeah, that's how it used to be.
Yeah, and they usually had the date. They would tell you the date.
And then they were trying to say, we had to put it through our safety team. It's like, well, then why didn't you run it through that before you launched it? Because you had time to review it.
Yes.
Yeah, bull crap.
So I think there's something going on. Some other people said that they think that Indiegogo has on the down low changed their payment processor or their bank or something, and they're not telling people. And they're basically going up to the very last date that they can to hold on to the money. Now, other people think they're holding on to the money because maybe they're not doing well financially, and they're going to, because all these companies are folding left and right, and they're like, okay, we're just going to hold on to the money, collect interest or whatever. I don't know what the deal is. But again, as a content creator, when you have a third party like that just sits on your money and you need that money to pay other people or buy your supplies or, pay your rent or whatever you got to do, that's scary. It really is. Can you imagine if you owed a whole bunch of money for a crowdfunder to your artist or whatever, and they just decided, hey, we don't want to give you your money.
Yeah. And that's what's happening.
And that's happening.
Our account. And,
they've canceled projects before, different, Indiegogo and Kickstarter. So anyway, so what we're going to do, I think, and we've been talking about it going forward, is we're going to try to do more through our own site. Because again, that cuts out the middle.
Well, you had it set up to do that for a couple of years. I mean, since you built the site, you've had it ready to go for that. We've actually been prepped for it. But just FYI, these books you can still order if you go to shopclownfish.com. Now, if you have bought Crimson Wren Volume 1, they finally arrived. That was an ordeal.
Yep.
In that case, we tried to pay for the books, and we did pay for the books, and they still took months to get it out.
Oh, my God.
But they're here, and those are going out starting today. So just letting you know, those are shipping now. Anyway.
But we're trying to do more ourselves, more through our own site.
You're going to probably put Shadowbinder's book 3 up on our own Shop Clownfish site first.
I think so, because
and then maybe we'll put it on Kickstarter or something too. But
yeah. I mean, and the reason, the more third parties you have involved in handling your money, the more chance there is for something like this to happen.
Because there's more fees.
There are more fees. And every time it hits somebody, they're taking a cut too. But beyond that, there's always a chance that the chain's going to break and you're not going to get your money. So you want to cut out the middleman as much as you can. But I feel really bad for the people that were supported by Patreon.
No, I do too, because I know for some people this is like the difference between like keeping your house or apartment and living on the streets and things like that, and now they can't get their money and people are losing their lists with them on it, so they might not, when it comes back up, they might be down a lot of money because people have to refine them again if they might be like, oh well, I don't need to pay them now.
Yeah.
I forgot that it was coming out every month, so I'm not doing it again. So there you go.
I would find a backup as soon as possible, because this thing's going to implode. We've been telling you.
We don't just say this stuff because we're meanie pantses. We tell you this because we've learned it the hard way. We're trying to make sure if we can help save you from the same problem, we're going to tell you so you can save yourself.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to wrap it up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.